Hi, I'm just going to take a look at a problem with the British Naval Code number 3, known as the Convoy Code, which Bletchley Park knew about but don't seem to have done anything. This diagram is from Wikipedia Battle of the Atlantic page and shows tonnage of ships lost in the battle for each month and the overall reasons. The diagram shows a huge increase in losses between late 1941 and early 1943. The red dots are shown on the diagram and in the article, indicating that the huge increases in losses is down to the German Enigma machine being cracked by the British. That's ridiculous. Whilst Enigma being cracked is likely to result in more U-boats being sunk, a British intelligence coup is unlikely to result in increased sinkings of Allied ships. In October 1941, B-Dienst, the German naval code-breaking department within the German Naval Intelligence Service, broke the British Naval Combined Cypher number 3. This cipher relied on a code book that contained words and their corresponding numbers, and a subtraction table book that contained a list of numbers to be subtracted from the codes to encipher them. No mechanical intervention like with Enigma happened. This seemed secure, and was, until the Germans captured 2 copies of the code book. Let's mark that date on the diagram. On June the 10th, 1943, the British changed the code to cipher number 5. Let's put that date in the diagram. This gives us a 20-month period during which more than half the tonnage sunk during the war slipped beneath the waves. The 7 million tons lost is the equivalent of about 1,000 Liberty ships. This would be 10 million tons of vital war cargo like food, petrol, tanks and aircraft, and around 30,000 sailors dead. Whilst not all the losses can be attributed directly to the codes being compromised, ignoring the red dots in the diagram and looking at the black and blue dots, we can extrapolate from the data and see that about 70% of the losses were due to the codes being compromised. Seems the disaster was caused by the Germans cracking the British codes. Bletchley Park knew in August 1942 the code was cracked. They saw it in the Tunny decrypts. Let's add that line. The Americans had warned the British that the code was crackable in 1941, 2 years earlier. It's very difficult to change the code when a code book is used, especially when the same code is being used by the Americans and Canadians. Every ship must be issued with the new one, including those at sea or in another country, before the switchover can occur. Looking at the graph with its 70% reduction, half the tonnage sunk at sea was lost because the code had been compromised, and half of that, notwithstanding the American warning, was after Bletchley Park knew the code had been compromised. History is written by the victors. We promote successes and hide our mistakes. Wars are won not by the victor doing everything right, but by the loser making mistakes. This one didn't lose us the war, but Winston Churchill, the wartime Prime Minister, claimed that the U-boat peril was the only thing that ever really frightened him during World War II. He would have slept easier if we had changed the code in 1941. Thank you.